We train as we fight, and we train to win. We need to be better, tougher, stronger than those that we're pitted against. Don't assume that you're ready before you're ready. We'll let you know. Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and I'm a little bit cranky today as I give you the cautionary tale of two soldiers, soldados, Spanish soldiers, soldados, because it was needless. It didn't need to happen. There is reasons, there is mitigating circumstances, I get it. But there was two soldiers that joined the military where they successfully navigated Kapooka, the home of the Australian soldier, that false advertises that the fitness standard required for Australian military service is that of the pre-enlistment fitness assessment, providing no physical gait, including swimming, to actually march out of Kapooka successfully into the waiting jaws of Arms Corps or the Australian Army grader that requires you at the bare minimum to be successful in the basic fitness assessment. The younger you are, the harder it is. That's the way it works. All the information is there, yet the Army projects to you that the PFA is enough until they get you to the political hands of Kapooka, where no one can now hear you scream because you're qualified, so to speak. The Army has prepared you and allowed you to go through the gates of Kapooka with a stupid haircut unless you're female. Okay, it has allowed you to go in educationally, emotionally, attitudinally, potentially, and physically for everything that is required to be at the base level to go to Kapooka, the home of the Australian soldier. But what it hasn't done is illuminated that only one day later, for those that are going to Arms Corps, you will be required to go and do a BFA, something that you haven't had to do for qualification job standard of a paid professional athlete that is required for all military service. So the very day after you get to the School of Infantry, you get there that night, the next morning you have a test to do. It's called a BFA, the Basic Fitness Assessment. Everyone knows about it. It's easy when you're not injured. It's not when you get older, when you've got mild injuries, when you've got permanent medical downgrades. But if you continue to fail those, you will be discharged from the military, which is the reason why I say you're a professional athlete. Because as soon as you cannot perform, that's what she said, then you will be discharged. Believe me. I will never ask you to turn up and compete at a level that I haven't met or far exceeded myself. Remember that the reason why we have these fitness standards requirements that should be absolutely no wiggle room is because it won't be long before you go Kapooka fitness, the pre-enlistment fitness assessment level, suddenly to a level where you are doing stores carries, where you're doing equipment carries, where you're doing live fire activities by night under night vision equipment in inclement weather while carrying body armor, protective ensemble, ammunition, okay, weapon systems, live rounds, all in proximity to the rest of your team. If something goes wrong and it's because you don't have the dexterity, because your cardio is shit and you are the slowest man, also known as the danger man, then you will have to live with that for the rest of your life, that you are a danger to your team. Because the first thing that goes out the door with fatigue is common sense, something that is already goddamn rare enough. Turn up ready, turn up prepared, and understand everything I say has a physical manifestation of action on the ground that should you fall short, you will be held accountable for, and you'll have no one to blame because you can't ring up and ask for help when you have turned up as the fist that John West rejects, to put it bluntly. Don't be that carp. So team, what has occurred? Why am I cranky? Because everything is avoidable. You could have looked this up. You could have listened to my advice. You could have subscribed to the channel. You could have been down below in Patreon getting the one-on-one mentoring requirement to get you to where you need to be able to meet the bare minimum standard of Army service, infantry service. 343, the Royal Australian Regiment, second to none if you decide to go amphibious to 2RR, but they don't even do a swim test at Kapooka, which means they're cooking the books. They're passing the buck. Who is it? Is it the PDIs? Is it the HR department of DFR? Is it the Chief of Army? Who knows? Who's riding off on this? But I believe that they are letting you down. They're setting you up for a fail. But you've got to take that blame on yourself too, because you would have been able to find the BFA what's required of you, but you didn't. So now we have people that get to the School of Infantry where you do a BFA on the very first morning, found yes or no. It's a simple binary result. And if you're not, then you go to the RAP, the Regimental Aid Post, and get told, no, it was due to fitness, to psychology, if there's something wrong there. Okay, weren't able to do it, weren't able to give their best effort on the day, therefore they may not be suitable for further and continued training within the Royal Australian Regiment, getting the Skippy badge as a net result to that completion. So, these two guys, we'll call one Adam and we'll call one Eve, just for simplicity. Adam and Eve complete Kapooka, have their parents turn up, fantastic, awesome, proud. Represent. The next day they find themselves, for the next couple of days after they have a rest with their family, getting ready to go to the School of Infantry, the initial employment training facility for infantry, the home of the infantry soldier, where it all begins. Will they get there? They spend a night in their transit accommodation. The next morning they present for the very first parade, where they are seen, accounted for, asked, is there any injury or ailment prevents you from giving your best effort this morning to qualify you to go into session, Capyon platoon, long tan platoon, bin bar platoon. Let me know below what your platoon was. Okay, so the guys then say no excuses, no dramas. They start with the push-ups, then they do the sit-ups, and then they do the run, the 2.4 kilometre run. If you fail that, then you've shown that you are not at the Army standard, let alone the initial employment training standard for infantry, professional athletes, skill at arms, of the best small army in the world. Therefore, we end up with soldiers who don't go into session, who are relegated to hard PT daily until they actually can pass a BFA to the level that they beat the 50 people, or they're part of the 50 people that qualify for the next session. So what's happening now is one guy didn't pass and he is still in holding platoon. 3 months later, as his mate is about to march out and get ready to go to a battalion. All because he didn't do the work, the research, the physicality, the what you do before you're asked to do it that makes it essential, the implied task to turn up, listo, Spanish, ready. So guys and gals, do the work. Don't blame DFR. I'll blame them. Don't blame the ADF. I will blame them. You don't need to. Times have changed, but not the requirements of the soldier on the battlefield. So this is a disappointment for this soldier, for his family, for his friends, for his team, for himself, for his future, that has now been indefinitely postponed until he comes up with the goods. You can't just go, okay, maybe this is not for me. It doesn't work that way. The taxpayer's already spent money on you. You've been vouched and validated as an all-corps Australian soldier, but now failed day one of your infantry training, regardless of gender. So guys and gals, do the goddamn work. If you need guidance, get on the bat phone link below on my Patreon and I will assist you where I can to lead you to water. Okay, but I can't force you to drink, can I? To those two guys, well done to the lad who knows who he is, has got his Skippy badge. Fantastico. Welcome, brother. To the other lad, let's see what happens to you next, because you chose snake instead of ladder. Don't follow his mistake, but you should learn from it. And this is a common mistake. Take it easy, duty first, and remember, your mates need you to be performing in the top 50% of every unit, whether it be a 4-man combat team, whether it be a 8 to 12-man section, whether it be a 30-man platoon, whether it be a 100-man company, whether it be a multi-company battalion or brigade, etc. You need to be doing more than is required. Otherwise, you are the weak link. You are. And it was all avoidable. Take it easy. That's Kaz in the trenches with Kaz. Get it done. 60 push-ups, the run in under 10 minutes, and 100 sit-ups. That's all you need to do. That's more than what the BFA asked for. If you want me to trust you with live rounds behind my back, okay, then do the job, do the work, be ready, get ready. And your sex life will be better as a byproduct of that action taken. Take it easy. See, that's Kaz in the trenches with Kaz. A little bit pissed off. Top Gun. Going in a minute. Popcorn, extra butter, please. Yes, sir. See ya.